Hey,
Hi.
We are live.
we are here.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the 42nd episode of Ladies of the Round Table. I'm going to be moderating tonight. Bear with me, it's my first time. And here are our hosts, Pixie.
Hi.
Nikki.
Hello, everyone.
And Carmen. And of course, I'm Page 6. And we're going to kick the show off tonight with the controversial Barbie book.
I don't know if I ever would have put those two words together, right? Controversial Barbie book.
Barbie always has controversy. People are always getting mad.
Well, I mean, there was that huge, wasn't there that huge scandal with like the pregnant Barbie where like you pushed her tummy and the baby popped out? Does anybody remember that?
I had that one.
What?
I had that Barbie. I had the Barbie where it wasn't that you pushed her out, it's that you were able to open it. It was magnetic. And you were able to have a baby in it. And I had it. I don't know.
Wow.
I also had a baby that you fed and it pooped. So.
Nikki,
yeah.
When we had Barbies, Barbie just went like, Barbie had a caravan and she had.
Barbie had a Corvette.
Yeah, a Corvette or unisex Ken. He didn't even have a bump back then.
That was
it was it.
Wait, does he have a bump now?
Yeah, he's got a bump now. Yeah, we were just deprived children.
Wow. Asexual dolls. I did have the doll. I did have the doll that would like pee, so that was okay, you know, but not poop.
Guys,
I mean,
I have to say, you haven't.
And we also had a doll that came over from Italy that farted.
What? I would have had too much fun with that.
It did.
Oh boy!
Well,
all the toys I can't have.
Because people fart.
Yeah, they do. Okay, they do. But I don't think my mom would have ever went to the store and been like, I think she needs to have that doll that flashes.
Oh, no, sorry, not me. I'm a lot older than you. It was for my daughter when she was younger. She's 18 now. She was like 2 or 3 at the time. Yeah.
And you went to the store and purchased that?
No, one of my parents, my mom, when she was overseas.
Ah, I see.
She traveled the world. She brought back a doll that farted, and she thought it was the funniest thing.
Guys, I want to bring everybody's in chat's attention to the nice overlay that we have that was fan-made by one of our very own stream team members. Nelly, thank you so much for the DA or Dragon Age overlay. It's pretty hot. I think it looks a little sexy. I'm not playing Dragon Age. Anybody playing Dragon Age?
Not yet. I'm ready. I'm ready to get it, though.
Yeah. Anybody in chat, Dragon Age? I don't think anybody in chat either. It's all over the Twitch, though. I noticed that. Yeah. It's everywhere.
It's a sexy layout. Chat is going to be fun tonight, is it not?
It is. They're lit up tonight. Yeah. Oh, Sanea says Dragon Age. All right. We got to watch her stream. We got to watch her stream. Yeah, and Jericho actually has it, just hasn't played it. Oy vey.
It's pretty hot.
I think that you could link the other games to it too.
Oh, really?
Games, yeah. I'm not sure about that though. I might be getting it confused with something else, but because I don't play Dragon Age, so it's not something that I've followed. But I do have friends that are really into games like that, so they've been talking about it like crazy. Yeah.
Does it have anything to do with the other games?
I think that you can link them. I'm not sure. It's funny because I sat down with a friend not more than 2 nights ago, and he was telling me all about the stories behind Dragon Age, and I was just glazed over, kind of not listening to him. And
you don't like the lore, huh?
But no, maybe I was exhausted. I got out of work. So he was like, we're just sitting down trying to catch up, and it's like 11 o'clock at night. I wake up at 5. So, I'm just like, Dragon Age, that's cool.
maybe Lady Sienna will join us in chat and tell us about it since she loves that.
So game. It definitely has to do with all that came before. The events in 1 and 2 are the events that shaped the world for Inquisition. So.
Nice. Okay, confirmed. So they are linked. Yeah, confirmed. Bum, bum, bum. The Googles for the win, I assume.
Chat.
All chat. He got out of it in 2, but now that they bring it back in 3, he's going to try to play them all again. So I guess it works. Tying the lore together like that. Because definitely I know a lot of people that play that way.
Before we get even sidetracked even further, because I got excited over the Dragon Age overlay, because it's so pretty, let's go back to Barbie. I mean, if anybody in chat has been under a rock and you haven't seen what is going on with the Barbie hashtag, or heard, there's this book that was published previously and now recently got republished and illustrated to, well, basically, Barbie's an engineer, right?
Yeah.
Ian's going to put the link up.
Was it published in the 50s?
I believe originally it was published in the 50s, 60s. I mean, it's an old book, and they just brought it back. And they said that.
Yeah.
Well, let me go back into the story before I say what Mattel had to say about this book and their faux pas. So the book is about Barbie becoming an engineer, and Barbie is a girl. She's a female engineer, and she basically goes through this story and talks about what she wants to fix, what she wants to do, what she wants to code. But throughout the whole book, pretty much the running theme is Barbie can't do anything for herself. She can't think for herself. She needs her male friends to help her to get it done. And if you have not seen some of these memes, oh my God, I spent the other day drinking coffee about spitting it through my nose 3 or 4 times because these things are awesome. The memes that came out of this debacle, excellent. I mean, I please somebody make a coffee table book of the memes because I'd buy that. Well, Barbie infects her own computer with a virus. She's helpless to fix it on her own. You know, she only makes matters worse. You guys have to see it. And the book itself has got a 79% disapproval rate on Amazon. People are really upset about this book. Have you guys seen the book? Pixie, you've seen the book?
Mm-hmm.
And the pretty pictures?
Yes.
I'm just laughing because I'm
trying to find fabulous. My favorite meme right now so I can post.
I actually read the remix to my daughter the other night, and she liked it. She thought it was funny. But, you know, I think it's funny because isn't Barbie an astronaut?
Yeah, Barbie was an astronaut, yeah.
Didn't we send her to the moon or something?
I thought she was a...
she doesn't know how to fix the virus, and she got on an email.
She was an astronaut.
Barbie can be a rocket scientist, but I'll be damned if she can get a virus off her computer.
I thought
she can't get
Barbie was a tour guide.
And she was trying to infect Skipper's computer because she was like, Skipper, let me just use your jump drive. And Skipper's like laying across her computer in this book, like, get the hell away from me, Barbie. What's wrong with you? You know, but Barbie's an engineer. I just, you guys in chat, go ahead and throw your comments up if you've seen the memes, if you've seen the book. OMG. Now, if I was a parent with a small child and somebody gave me this book to read to my kids, I don't know if I could get through it without cracking up. Or would I read it?
Oh, my Lord.
I don't know. Nikki, did you see the at least the memes?
I saw like them ripping it apart on both CNN, Fox, and then I heard Rachel Maddow talking about it. So that was my interaction. I gotta check
that clip.
Yeah,
Rachel Maddow, did she go off?
Come on. It's Rachel Maddow, and you're talking about something making women out to be stupid.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to catch that because she probably had some good zingers in there.
It wasn't a feature on her show. It was a comment.
Yeah.
Interesting. I still need to catch that. Normal Barbie needs a takeover. Is that a takeover or makeover, Neil? I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, we got a lot of people in chat tonight, you know.
Do we?
Yeah, we got quite a bit. I mean, other than our what?
Other than our 12
Pixie
bots?
with the sucking air. Breaking news. Breaking news.
I just found, breaking news. A PhD student at Georgia Tech announced she remixed the new book.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't you hear Paige say that she read her daughter the remix?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's really good. You should read it right now.
She did the correct parental unit thing and found a better version and said, "Here, read this."
You know what? But I will say, after I finished reading it to my daughter, I was like, so what do you want to, would you want to be a computer engineer when you grow up, or would you like to make video games? Because she told me she wants to play the Laser Puppy video game. In the remix, the viral remix, there's a few now, and some of them are a little bit vulgar. They're also funny, but you shouldn't read them to your children. And,
disclaimer.
Yeah. And she wanted to play the robot game that was talked about in the remix, where they have robot puppies that shoot lasers. And I said,
wow.
would you want to make a video game like that? And she said, I want to be a fashion designer. And I was like, all right, well.
There goes that dream.
I want to make robot puppies that shoot lasers.
Like, all right, Julia, I guess, you can still be a fashion designer, and
hey.
Barbie's still your market,
She's still young. She may change her mind, right?
I actually did do fashion design for a little bit, so I wouldn't mind if she went into that. It's definitely an interesting field. Especially we're in the city. You could work in a boutique. It's pretty easy to get into over here. So hopefully, that could work.
So did anybody in chat actually buy this book? I mean, if you did, hold on to it because it's going to be worth some money, all right? Just keep it.
A lot of money.
Or save it for the ritual burning.
We don't burn. We don't burn books.
I think I'm gonna go find the girl that did the remix at Georgia Tech and get her on the show.
Yeah, you need to. Yes, most definitely. We would enjoy that immensely. What does an evil scientist have to do with puppies? Okay, laser puppies. Yeah.
But I mean, this
Dragon
is just...
Age, the topic. It was the topic a little bit ago. John.
What about Pixie? You were saying that Kotaku changed it up a little bit over for their forums?
So there's Kotaku in Action, which is like, as everyone knows, the Reddit for like discussing ethics in journalism. They have a great set of rules that you have to abide by. Super, super good, super positive. But interestingly enough, Gamergate released a dossier about a week ago, revealing why they think that there's something wrong with the gaming community when it comes to ethics, and basically trying to address the concerns and create open debate so that they can find like ethical solutions that can actually be implemented. And it's really good. It's really well written. It covers a lot of the importance of why journalism as a whole, whether is gaming or like standard news media, is important, and why it's so important that journalism as a whole is unbiased. And it's absolutely wonderfully well written, like super, super productive. I think it sums up Gamergate and what they want. As
so like where can we find this actual? Is there a link?
Well. There is a link. Ian is going to put it up in the chat here in a minute, I believe.
Awesome.
But it's super good, and I think it's really good to see something come out of Gamergate that really defines it, and really defines what it wants and what it's trying to do as a movement.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely a problem with the way that we kind of dismiss people in general on either side of that debate. There's definitely a strive that I think people who interact with each other on the internet in particular need to try to meet in a medium instead of kind of getting off to yelling at each other.
So someone said something funny in a Reddit post that I read, and it was basically that like people are turning into kangaroos on the internet. And like what happens when a kangaroo gets scared? Like it goes into the water, it lures, whatever's following it into the water. It then proceeds to like hold it down, punch it and kick it, and like kill it, like drown it, and the water gets muddied. And you can't see what's really going on. And I think that's an issue with not only Gamergate, but with a lot of, even in politics. The waters get muddied and you can't really see where something stops and where it ends and who's really where.
Especially in politics. I'm surprised that we don't have this kind of discussion more about politics.
No, we don't talk about politics.
And
we don't particularly here.
Well,
however,
not us here, but in general on the internet, you talk about ethics conversations. There was a bill that we talked about just last week that almost got hasn't been voted yet. That's trying to change the tax code, and within it, they're trying to neglect to include companies that create violent video games. What is deemed violent? There is a huge breach of ethics in plenty of fields, and not to say that that it's not a valid discussion if you care about gaming to talk about that in the context of Gamergate. But I'm surprised that it doesn't come up more in a lot of broader topics and a lot of spectrums that are definitely abused, even greater than you would see in a gaming community. There's just ethics is very important when it comes to who's reporting the news to you, and I don't think that is really being. I think that in gaming, it's not even as bad as it could be in areas that are really very important. And,
right.
That's an issue. that's definitely an issue. How do you feel, Nikki, about it?
No, I when it comes to Gamergate and when it comes to what we're talking about, I try to stay wide berth around it because of my everyday job and the comments that were already made by us there. So I stay away from it.
Yeah,
okay.
So our chat is brought up a great subject, and I'm just going to default to it real quick so we can move on. The Serial podcast. I don't know how many people you guys are listening to it, but if you haven't, be prepared to suck some hours of your life away. You're not going to be able to do it in any capacity like a one-off. You are going to be rifling through those suckers like there's no tomorrow. And if you haven't, please go ahead and get caught up, because I have decided, and I'm sure Pixie's right with me, that we will be doing some kind of a podcast sideshow on this phenomenon that is, because there's no way we cannot, we can't do it here because we'll just forget the rest of the show. But you guys in chat that are talking about Serial or getting ready to watch it, don't worry, we will get back to you because I see you guys just going to town. We're going to move on to Nikki's next topic. I believe it's a Marvel superhero that I know nothing about. I'm sorry, I'm ignorant today. So I'm going to wait for Nikki to fill me in.
Yeah, we're going to take the same. We don't know anything about her, but it's just the fact that they're starting to bring more female characters to light in the superhero world. So the first one that they really made strong in Marvel was Black Widow, with her introduction into the Avengers and other roles that she played in that show. And now we know that, I think it was the last show I was on, we talked about Captain Marvel, and Marvel is doing a Daredevil. I'm not sure if it's a Daredevil movie or a Daredevil TV show, but then they started casting for another TV show called Jessica Jones. Now, everything I could find out about Jessica Jones is that she's in the Spider-Man universe, the whole Marvel universe, and she crosses paths with a number of different people. She was there when Peter Parker got bitten. She was in a coma after her family had some kind of she fell into a coma because of some trauma that she suffered with her family in some part of the world. And then Jean Grey was actually trying to psychically bring her back. So there are different Marvel characters that have touched her throughout the different course, and they're talking about who is going to play the part of Jessica Jones, and they've got 3 women on their minds right now. They have what?
I was gonna say that's very interesting how much lore is weaved into this story.
Yeah, she seems to have touched a lot of different storylines in the Marvel universe.
She's not particularly old either. She hasn't been around for that long.
No, she has not. Yeah. She's relatively new. Well, you got to remember that, superheroes go back a long time. And in the beginning, the women were always the damsels in distress that the superheroes had to save, So
yeah, she
they weren't really the strong.
Yeah, she debuted in November of 2001, so she's really new.
Right. She's
Bendis
that's correct.
created her, and he's, he's very recent, comic.
Right, but that just goes to show you.
So, Paige, has she crossed over into any other books?
A lot.
I know that the only time I've ever seen her you know, I'm not big on Marvel. I follow a lot of DC, but I did really like the Marvel Max comics, and she was involved in a Marvel Max line. Just let me see if I can find which one it was, because I'm not too familiar. Alias. So I have seen her before, and Marvel Max was geared towards like more
That's
adult,
right,
you
Alias,
know.
right?
Yeah, so
I
that's the
tried
only
not to
thing I
say
know about her.
Alias because I mentioned Daredevil, and I didn't want
Yeah.
people to start thinking about the
Get
TV show
confused. Yeah.
Alias.
Yeah.
You know?
I
Yeah, it's
followed
very
like
easy to lose
Punisher
that.
really on the Max line though. Like I didn't follow too much Marvel. I read, you know, here and there. I pick up an arc more than I follow a character in
Aegon says she
Marvel,
was
so.
part of the new Avengers for a bit.
Oh yeah? Yeah, well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
According Yeah, well, according to the lore, she's in quite a few different of the comics. She's there with the Young Avengers, which is a comic. I forget when that ran. She was in the Pulse series. She was also in something called Private Eye, where she was no longer a superhero, but was then a private detective. And then she had a part in this Marvel Civil War. So, superhero Civil War that went on then. So, what I was trying to point out to this was that she is relatively new, and it's a stretch that they have to go and find a character like her. You know, Captain Marvel was sitting right there, and Black Widow, but for the third one that they're trying to bring out, they had to go to a different place to create a whole series around a female superhero and bring that all the way to 2001, 2002, where, you know, you're going back to Superman, which is 50 years old, right? 60 years old. So it's just going to show you how quickly we're moving forward with the, you know, with getting
The,
more
pro-
women in.
the
Yeah, right,
progression that is
I used to
right,
feminism.
work.
Yeah.
I used
I
to
right.
don't
work.
even. I think some of it is that like there have been so many remakes of like Superman and Batman. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to dip into the pool for something really different and new
Yeah.
and exciting. I don't think it has anything to do with like whether or not it's a woman or not. I genuinely think what it is Marvel has done a great job of outdoing DC when it comes to putting together movies and television shows and
Right.
really putting out good ones. I mean, like Guardians of the Galaxy, like most people are not really into Guardians of the Galaxy, and the movie was phenomenal. So I think what they're trying to do is they're really just trying to, you know, find something that's really going to get people excited and talking and that's really going to keep pushing them.
I kind of hope they don't jump the shark though, because I mean, and I think that DC is going to be the one to throw it over the edge. Because I mean, there are like what, more than 50 movies coming out in the next couple of years that are all
Well,
comic
movies, TV
movies.
shows. Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
and you know, I think that they're just kind of picking at anything now and hoping it sticks. And I
Well,
hope
it's
that
kind of,
I hope that that's gonna. I hope that maybe Marvel has thought it out a little bit better, but I think that it's about to become really oversaturated, and I hope that it doesn't sour the taste for general audiences. You know?
I just think that Marvel has a lot more interesting characters overall, you know, that have a lot more depth to them.
DC is very classic. DC is very
Yeah.
If you want to think of what is a
I'm
superhero archetype,
yeah,
DC provides that for you, and I think that
but
there's an audience for that.
but I'm not talking about more interesting characters like Singularity. I'm talking about many more interesting characters. Where DC has the, you know, it has the Batmans and the Supermans and the Wonder Womans, you know, there's a lot more
I
in the
think
Marvel.
that personally, because I read DC, I follow DC much closer than I follow Marvel.
Okay.
You know, and I can tell you why I do. I think that maybe it could be because I grew up on the characters and I'm just more personally invested in them, which is
Okay.
very much possible. But even when it comes to Vertigo, or when it comes to, you know, the kind of tie-ins that bleed into the universes and the older IP, like the Frankensteins, you know, I think that there's a lot that DC has to offer that people get stopped at Batman and Superman, and they don't come in a little further and see the side stories. Like Animal Man has been fantastic, and it's completely integral to the New 52 plots. And a lot of people who are outside wouldn't have read that. Personally, I think that Snyder's Batman is crap. I haven't read it. I don't like it. I think that he writes Batman weird. Nightwing was atrocious. I literally gave my Nightwing comic away for free. I gave them away. I love Simone's Batgirl. She was fantastic.
Okay.
You know, in my opinion, guys, I think that what's going on is it's not like Pixie said. It's not necessarily a male or female thing. I think that they're obviously taking this opportunity because there's been so much fanfare and women asking for more characters that speak to them that they're taking the opportunity to go back into the repertoire and find characters that are genuinely deep and interesting, because let's face it, when women read comics or play a game or do anything in this genre, we do like to smash face, don't get me wrong, but we will be more satisfied with the lore and the long-term story than just a wham bam thank you ma'am kind of thing, because we'll lose interest and we won't go back into the next book or the DLC. So I think it's a smart play on their end to try to get us engaged right off the bat, because as you've seen with TV shows, 1 or 2 episodes and then people fall off. So it's smart to go in and get this Jessica Jones, because she looks like she's got some longevity to her. She looks like she's got some chops, and we would be interested to see how far she can take this and go, where she's going to take it to, because she's touched so many different things.
I would say, too, I used to work for comic conventions, and I've been to comic conventions where I was one of 2 girls at the entire convention. And I remember going to my illustration teacher and talking to him about a picture of Wonder Woman that really bothered me. And he laughed at me and said, that's the industry. Good luck changing it. And, this was, oh God, I must have been 15 at the time. I was 15, 16 years old. And I remember thinking, wow, I just have to kind of live with this. It's never going to change. And to see it change, not just within my lifetime, but within a decade while I'm still young enough to really be a part of this community and love it, is, it takes my breath away a little bit. And I know that it frustrates a lot of people, and I don't think that it should change completely or that there's no room for Silver Age or 90s level kind of comics, I think there's room for all of it still. But I definitely am glad to see that there's a progress towards including more women.
Well, and for me, I like DC Comics more because I feel like in some ways they address more of what's actually happening during that comic time period. You look at Brother Power the Geek. Brother Power the Geek wasn't named Brother Power the Freak because he came out in the 60s and they were worried about terminology. He's a little nerdy boy. And, he got beat up all the time. And, it addressed, the way that they saw people then. And, you look at... And this is really controversial, so please be aware this is only my opinion and nothing but Extrano and Hemogoblin, pretty unwell known. And this is back when HIV and AIDS were still known as GRID. That was their way of addressing these things. And I think that's what's really interesting with DC for me, is I can see what's going on. I can see what's happening in the world as these comics are being pushed out and come out. And I think that's really, for me, the most interesting part of it. Because I don't see that as much with Marvel.
Marvel has it, but I think that we need to look at Image and Vertigo and the kind of the side stories, too, for some really pressing, comics.
You guys are way more into this.
Well, that's because we read comics, Nikki.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
It's okay if you're sitting this one out. It's all good.
I got them over here on my nightstand, but
yeah,
my boys
this is a very interesting topic because again, it covers a lot of things, and be more. We saw your question or your comment in chat. We're not speaking for all women. We're speaking for the ladies at the table, and that's why we have an open format for anyone to come in here and have a conversation. And if you'd like to continue the conversation, you can go over to our website and you can put up whatever dialogue you want. We could address it directly to you. But right now, we're here having a great time, and we're sharing with the fans and having a conversation about Jessica Jones. So, I think we're able to move on to the next topic. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, Yeah, Nikki, you were going to talk about Walmart's Amazon price matching debacle.
Oh, I wasn't I?
Yes, you was.
I really just let that go out. No, I'm just kidding. So I mean, this happens, and they say this happened just once, and we know this happened a little bit more than that. It happened with iPhone at one point with Amazon. It's happened this year with the PS4, and there's always scams that are being thought up by different people on how to make Walmart or Best Buy or the old CompUSA or whatever price match something that doesn't exist. And um, essentially, what went on here is that Walmart's price matching policy actually almost backfired them when there was a $90 PS4 scam that yeah, and Walmart has had a long ad match. Like they'll match ads from almost anybody. And if you don't think that's the case, look up the lowest price anywhere in the country. It doesn't even have to be a store right near where you live, and Walmart will just go out of their way to take care of you and match it. And so of and you know, it's funny because you guys are throwing this into the channel today, and I was just talking about this today where we work because there was something similar to this that was thrown to us, and I'll explain that in a second. And you know, this doesn't even go into how Walmart actually fixed this.
It doesn't, because I think that there's a link or something, and they can go read it because we don't have all night to read to go into all of it. But just the gist is would be perfectly fine.
Well, the gist of it is that it doesn't matter when it is, and it's going to be every major holiday. So we're going into Black Friday,
year, right?
And, and it's always the week before because none of the stores do any price matching during the Black Friday holiday because each one of the vendors is only going to give them deals for that one store. So they don't want to lose margin because they already are. So they generally don't match prices on Black Friday, but the week and then 2 weeks beforehand, when all the other prices that aren't vendor financed, these stores lose a ton of money. So this is just one of those things where they had this price matching policy. People were showing something that showed this ad. I think it was a phony ad for a $90 PS4, and Walmart's.
Yeah, it was. I was following it as it happened. It was like a third-party retailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was somebody put it up as a third party, so it wasn't even like they photoshopped something. It was up on Amazon and posted. Yeah, Amazon took it down.
But it wasn't Amazon. In other words, what I'm saying, it was a phony ad. So you're saying it a little bit more succinct. Yeah. It is a Amazon marketplace.
It was vendor. An Amazon. Yes, you're right. Seller. Very good.
Yeah, they were able to pull it up on their phones. Like, no, it's here.
and
I need it.
Right, and how most and the way that most of these companies do the match is they're looking for the word Prime next to the actual vendor. Some of the vendors have actually gained the reputation to actually carry the Prime name next to their name. So this person actually had, or this group actually had the Prime in their ad for the first few hours of it. That's why it got caught. Not that it was just on there, but that they were seeing the Prime on the ad and they're forced to match it because that's their policy. So it was shut down real quick, and it was shut down on, like Paige said, on Amazon's side. But last year it cost them something like $1.8 million for iPhones. It was nuts.
Wow.
So it was crazy.
You know, and around this time, you know, I am not a huge Black Friday shopper, but there's people in my family that are obsessed. They start scouting things out months before Black Friday, not weeks, months before. They have their list. It's like going to war with their lists and everything, and they're ready to go, packing a lunch, staying overnight, camping out somewhere, and they're looking for stuff like this. Just the opportunity to save money just a little bit. $10, $20. This was more than that. This was like $100. And I can understand how my mother, who doesn't understand technology, would look at that Amazon and go, oh, I got to get that for my granddaughter, and be all over, and then call someone and cuss them out because she doesn't understand what's going on and why she can't have that price match.
Right. And customers don't want to know that it's not, you said you're going to price match this. I don't care. I have this price here. And the question is, can you actually get that price? And in this situation, there was no way they were going to get that price,
Let me tell you something, because I have been there, I have done that, and I did on Black freaking Friday last year.
Yeah, I'm not talking
about... There's an ad for something, and they're not specific about it. They have to give you that price, and I will stand in line at that register with 10 million people behind me, making them mad, so they're mad at you.
Pixie. She's going
I meant that people were not going to get that price on that Amazon vendor because that vendor couldn't sell. Right, there was no way they were going to be able to get that.
There are so many things I learned from my mother, and one of the biggest things I learned from my mother. No, I learned how to get what I want and do it without yelling, screaming, or cussing. Yeah. Because you want to know who doesn't pay their cable bill right now? Because their cable has been so messed up.
Nobody on this show. Nope. Nobody. Everybody pays their bills.
My cable bill is like paid up for like 6 months.
Everybody pays it.
Well,
so what?
Anyway,
what happened with the Sears and the Wii U? Didn't we have the same kind of incident with that? And people got the bundle for really cheap.
What people need to understand, though, if you're going to take advantage of a hole in this system, is that you are hurting the base level employees. They're not going to be getting their bonuses. They're going to be getting hurt. They're going to be getting their hours cut and probably even fired. So, you really need to think. You need to really think about, if you're getting, a $40 system, and you're thinking
no one's
that you're hurting Walmart. But in reality, you're hurting the people who are closer to you than closer to the people that you think in the large.
It doesn't even just hurt them. It hurts the entire economy. It's like shoplifting or like walking out on a meal. Companies literally have stockpiles of money devoted for when people get up without paying at a restaurant. Like they actually have
wait. Do you actually believe that to be true?
It is. I know that.
It is not true.
I have that is the case.
It is not true.
There are companies that I have worked for that is the case.
Companies like Walmart and companies like GameStop also get tax breaks for their losses.
Yes, they do.
But you're not hurting them.
Because I work in the industry, I've already talked enough about this, and I can't talk anymore. But I'm not saying that you're wrong, Pixie. All I'm saying is that it's not accurate in the way that you're explaining it. It's not that they have a budget for that. It's called loss, okay? It's called shrink. They don't have a budget for it. They have a shrink number that they want to stay under. So it's not a budget for it, and it's not oodles of cash. When they don't make it, they lose their bonuses, just like Paige said. And that's all I could say.
Restaurants.
I ran
do you have lost budgetary funds?
Now you have to remember, guys. I'm gonna put the hammer down.
We're talking about two different industries here. I'm talking about restaurants, and you're talking about.
Think about GameStop not being open on Thanksgiving Day.
I think that's awesome. I do.
I mean, some of them are opening at 12 a.m., so I don't know.
That's fine. It's about time that somebody starts looking at the families of the people.
Do you think they're setting an example?
I think that no. What the truth of it is, last year, even though it looked like even though everyone had a busier than normal Thanksgiving holiday, staying open on Thanksgiving didn't bring them that much extra money.
That has been the theme across the board from last year's numbers. You are correct.
That is it. So they are deciding not to put in the same amount of hours that they did last year.
I'm sorry.
That's all.
But I just think that it's so gross that Black Friday has not just bled into Thanksgiving, but it goes on for like a week. It's just like, it's not even Black Friday, and the sales are not the same, and they're
Black Friday.
They keep you out all day and all night, and it's just like, especially for people who work in a retail field where you're going to be bombarded on Black Friday. give them the day to eat turkey with the rest of the country.
The thing is Black Friday. Black Friday is like those people in your neighborhood who leave their Christmas lights up all year.
I don't agree, but
no.
I think that there's a problem with like being thankful one day and then going out and people die every year getting trampled the next. More people are going to die on Black Friday than from Ebola in America.
I haven't seen that happen for years.
That happens in New York all the time.
I have to say, though, guys, that there is a choice to be made whether you're going to go out on Black Friday or not. If you don't have to work, that is. So if you don't want to be subjected to it, and you don't want to be a party to an incident or being stuck somewhere because there's such a long line or whatever the case may be, because traffic is what it is in certain cities, then just don't go.
Yeah.
You do your shopping before or after, and maybe do it online. There are options to take care of that business that you want to do. And unfortunately, some of us that don't participate don't get those deals, and we got to pay the whatever the money, extra money is. But sometimes it's worth it just not to be in the chaos, because I can tell you for a fact that some kids just don't appreciate the whatever you just went through the night before Black Friday. You come back with a little bit of less hair on one side of your head, and maybe some bruises or whatever was going on. Coffee spilled, no sleep, and you get up the next day or for Christmas, and the kid opens a present and they don't know what the hell you just went through. So is it really worth it?
I think that people are addicted to retail. I think that people are addicted to shopping.
In America?
And I think that the recession has really hurt a lot of people where they need the sales. It's not even like it's a fun thing to kind of do. Like you wake up early, and you all go out as a family and you play football in the middle of the Toys R Us. It's like it's become a thing where we are so desperate for extra money that we need Black Friday to last a week. And there's something to be said about when you're not paying people enough, you're not giving them enough hours to have.
I think it's just money. The economy overall that there's an underlying issue that we can sweep under the rug.
Yeah, it's bad economics to not pay a general population enough that they can afford their stuff, so that they can buy and put back into the economy. And that's definitely showing in this sale culture that we have going on.
Hey, well, the chat's all excited about Cyber Monday. We forgot about that. That's a great. A great day.
It's a great alternative.
It's a good day.
Yeah, I think that is a good alternative for those of us who either missed or had to work or couldn't go out or whatever the case may be, or you just know that there was a better sale coming up on that Monday and it ships right to your house. Waited by drone, right?
I don't like a sale day. I have a problem with it overlapping our day of thanks.
I agreed.
That's a problem that I have with it. And the idea that, I know you guys said it hasn't happened in a while. People died in New York just last year. There's a Walmart by me where people died.
Oh, yeah, they got smashed in the door, yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen down here.
Yeah, no, that happens here. It's scary.
Now, down here, everybody says, "Oh, you go before me." No, you go before me.
Yeah, no, it's not like that here. It is the reason.
Oh, that was a joke. That was a joke.
Yeah. Anyway, Shadow of Mordor put up a really interesting DLC called Power of Defiance, where they have skinned over the main character, a female, and you can play as a girl. And it's
Hallelujah.
Brought to you by
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't
Wait. They were able to make a female character that quickly?
They skinned it over the regular.
Wait. What was that company that said it was too hard to make a female character? Wait, I don't understand that.
You're trying to wrap your head around it still, right? You're like, wait, I'm confused.
I just don't understand. I am very confused.
To be fair, they have people kissing disembodied faces and falling through levels in that game, so I do kind of believe that they weren't sure how to make a girl. They couldn't even make the level properly.
So is the DLC available now, or we can just?
I believe that it is. I saw it briefly on Kotaku earlier, and I thought that was really interesting. Yeah.
So would you, if you guys had the game, would you play as a female, or would you just go with the male character? Nikki?
I play as a female.
You would? Okay, Paige?
I would, except for they're not sure at this point if you play through the cutscenes as the girl, because it's just skinned over. So you may have the cutscenes as the regular main character.
Well, how do I explain that to my kid if she's playing Mordor? I mean, that's confusing.
Well, I mean, hopefully if she's playing Mordor, she's old enough to understand.
Well, yeah, I would hope, but that's another conversation I don't need to have. Pixie, would you play as the male or female characters now that you have a choice?
Male.
Male, okay. Because I know that it's a misconception that all of us, just because we're female, would select the female character given the choice.
I would play the dude for like $1.5 million. First of all, I'm gonna try to check out his butt.
I would play both.
Like number one, it's gonna happen.
She's the opposite of all those guys.
Number two, I like getting to be something I'm not. Like when I play video games, part of the reason that I play them is to like escape from what is, and I'm a chick. Like I don't have certain genitalia. So sometimes it's fun to be a dude.
So Sphinx, it's just the Power of Defiance DLC. You get the option to choose one or the other. It's not a mod.
Which is pretty cool. And she's designed really well. She's awesome looking. I was really impressed with her design. She looks really nice.
Sanea is saying she'd play as a male too.
Yeah, and like I said, it's a common misconception for most people to assume that because we are women, that we will automatically select the female character first. That's not necessarily true.
I thought. Wait. Was the question, would you play it through, or would you only play it through?
It was the question, which one would you select first? Obviously, when you're going into the game, you've got the option for the male or female character.
I would select the character that was built for the game first, but I thought you were saying, would you play as the female's character? Yeah. But I would first play it through with the character that was intended.
It was built for. You're right. I think I would do that as well.
I mean, that's what I would do first.
That's my best playthrough.
I would probably go for the girl first.
I mean, come on, let's face it.
Cool looking.
Let's face it.
Yeah.
No, we played Mass Effect. Yeah, we played Mass Effect. Okay. But in Mass Effect, we all played through as both sexes, right?
Yes, we did.
So, I mean, it would be the same thing as that.
She's the warrior commander of the tribesmen of Nirn. So, go ahead with your bad self.
She's really cool looking. I think that normally for me, when it comes to who I pick in a game, it comes down a lot to character design and if they have different movesets. You know, some characters are just easier to play with. Some characters flow better, and I think that you have that especially in fighting games. And some of them just look really cool. So it really kind of depends on, for me, what they look like and how they're going to play. But I think that the option is there, and it's a good option. I just wish that she was. I just wish that she was actually in the cutscenes and things like that. But she's a DLC, so.
Sphinx says
that may be something that they throw out and fix here soon, but I mean that is far more time consuming than just doing like a reskin.
Right.
So that may be something that they're looking to do in the future, but they can't do right now.
Yeah. Either way, they did a good job with it from what I can tell, and people are happy with it. So more power.
So I'm gonna read a couple things in chat, guys, because we got some good conversation going on in chat, and I want to include the chat. Sphinx says, I always select a female if it was a part of the dev's original design and concept, which I think is what we were all kind of touching on earlier. Yeah, Lara Croft, that is a good example. Yeah. And Lady Snez says that she plays as the male character, and sometimes people will ask her in her chat why she's playing as the male character. Do you guys ever get that? If you're, maybe Pixie, I mean, you stream quite a bit. Nikki, you stream. If you're playing a male character, do you really get somebody come in and ask you why you decided to play a male character in a game? And I just find that kind of fascinating because, what kind of question is that? And Cody, yes, you can ask a question if you want to throw it up there. We'll get to you.
And I get asked all the time if all I play are girls too.
Yeah.
Like it's not mutually exclusive. Yeah, I get asked if all I play are females, and then I get asked like, why are you playing males?
Yeah. A lot of people think I'm a guy or a young kid on chat. So it kind of throws a lot of people off when they find out that I'm a girl. Especially if they've been playing with me for a while on something. But I don't know. I have a pretty girly name on my PC
I find it intriguing.
too.
Like, do you guys ever go into someone else's chat and and just say, "Hey, why do you always play as a girl when you go into a guy's chat?" Because guys play girls' characters, don't they? Play it quite a lot. I mean, no offense to you guys in the chat, but you do pick the female character, and not for reasons that we're gonna make it negative for you, but you just happen to like the way that character is. We don't go into your chat and say, "Well, you always play as why are you not playing as a dude?" I just find it a strange question. Overall,
yeah, that's kind of weird, but
it's awkward.
Girls are becoming more prominent, and there are girls that are turning on their mics, which I think that a lot of the time girls weren't turning on. I know that I didn't turn on my mic for a long time on a lot of games, and I think that as girls are becoming more prominent, even if they're not the majority of core gamers, there's still enough of them that you're going to run into a few, and now that we're seeing that they're there.
So Cody wants to know, is the game worth getting on PS3? Or do you think it's worth getting an older Elder Scrolls? He's talking about Mordor.
Oh, Mordor worth it. Do it.
Mordor worth it. She sounded like Yoda for a second.
Screw Elder Scrolls, like Mordor.
So it still works on PS3 is, I think, what he was asking. It still works very well.
Huh.
Does it? Is that the question?
Is this game worth getting on PS3, and do you think it's worth getting Elder Scrolls Online? So that's the way I'm reading it. Cody, if you need to decipher that for us, because we're assuming that you're asking, is the game any good, and can you play it on PS3?
Biggest waste of $60 I ever spent.
PS3. Confirmed. It is PS3 viable.
It is. Okay, good. There you go.
So Aegon, of course, says Elder Scrolls is a waste of an MMO, in his opinion. There we have it, guys.
Aegon has spoken.
A lot of people that'll disagree with him.
Oh, yeah. And Nelly says ESO died a month ago.
Wait, is there somebody that was going to wait, is someone disagreeing with him?
Not yet. I think that we're still getting into, they're talking about ESO and some beta now, so we're getting into another conversation. Okay. I think it's a great time for us to roll into our next topic while the chat continues. Serenity, welcome to the channel. Sphinx, welcome to the channel.
Serenity now.
Carmen, you were going to talk about the Vainglory developer?
I'm going to talk about Vainglory because I'm actually, and Pixie, you will be just pleasantly surprised with this one. Vainglory is the new MOBA that was specifically designed for the tablets in mind, and I have fallen in love with a MOBA. I am so shocked and pleasantly surprised that I'm looking for my iPad to go do a match. I'm like, why? And then I've been in Pixie's stream a couple times when she's streaming. I come in and out during the day and check out what's going on. And I can't quite understand why there's certain times where she's just so livid with some of the players or has an issue with somebody who's just not doing their job, whether they're support, whether they're not. And now I feel you, girlfriend, because I was yelling at the iPad the other day. I'm like, what in the hell is wrong with you? Why would you do that? Go straight up the lane. What's wrong with these people? And my kid's looking at me like I'm crazy because I'm just like, and I can't rage out. And then I was playing this afternoon because these matches take about 20 to 30 minutes. You guys, it's not something that you can get in and get out in a short period of time. And it's 3-on-3.
So I can't play at work?
Well, you know what? I'd recommend you going to the bathroom and saying you got some problem and then come back out. But, it depends on your boss.
I'll be back in like 45 minutes.
I'll be back in 45 minutes.
Sucked into a bunch of matches. That would never work.
I have to say that it's fabulously good so far. I mean, obviously, just like any other game, you have to unlock characters. You can buy some things in the game to be able to get a starter kit and whatnot. It's free to play. If anybody is playing wants to add Shrivasta, please do, because I need some teammates to know what the hell they're doing before I go lose my mind and actually break the iPad. I mean, I wish. Pixie, have you played it?
I haven't. I need to.
All right.
I need to so bad.
Somebody please get in the game and figure out how you can report somebody for being AFK. I got a problem. Because 3-on-3s do not work with 2-on-1. just don't work, people. It's not an issue, and I can't get out of the game. I can't just quit and go to another match. You have to sit there, and then it's just terrible. It's so terrible to just have your face smashed in while the other two people are whatever, smoking a cigarette, taking a shit. I don't know, but it pisses me off. All right, yeah. This game is fabulous. I think it's beautiful. It's very fast-paced. There's a lot of tapping going on, so if you got your acrylics on, you might want to, work that out for yourself because you're going to be tapping on that screen. And I do love the fact that each of the characters are built differently and it really well balanced. And I never thought I'd hear myself talk about a MOBA in such a way. I'm just a little giddy over
God,
here.
Are you ready?
What's the name of this game?
Vainglory. It's in chat.
iPad only.
Madness, really?
I have an iPad.
You guys know how I feel about Apple.
So much rage for Pixie. Oh.
You know what? I will say
only on the App
iPad.
Store.
Yes, Tome, guys. Tome just came out today as well. I'm going to be looking at that for next week's show because I'm going to give MOBAs a second glance.
Tome?
But
Wait,
Tome,
Tome?
Tome, Tome. It's on Steam.
Okay.
And it just came out today.
Steam. I am so scared of Steam this week.
Regality just sold your iPad. Now you can't play it with me. Damn it. I need some teammates. Come on, guys. Who's got the iPad in chat?
I'll get my iPad for you, Carmen.
Yes, please. Regality's done with Apple as well. All right, everybody's got their opinion. Whether you like the Apple, you don't like the Apple. Yeah. It'll come over to Android soon enough.
Actually, this one says no.
A Rage first-person shooter on the iPad too, and it was surprisingly really fun.
What is it?
It was a first-person shooter called Rage. It's pretty old now. But
I'll have to look at that one.
If you're ever looking to kill time with something, it was difficult, but it was fun.
It's built by a company that only makes iPad and iPhone apps.
Who, Vainglory?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's enough money to be made on both platforms. They might switch it over. Because it's MOBA. It's MOBA. Normally they do make, most companies, if they stick with one thing, they only do one thing. But since they're going over to MOBA.
The one thing is, the truth of it, I don't think if they move it over, I don't know that it'll be popular enough.
Well, there is tournaments already, so that's all you got to say, cool. Money.
I think
you just say money and people are coming.
They're tapping into the core gamer market for tablets and for mobiles. And I think that that's pretty cool. And I think that that's going to be a way for people to get some quality games for some really cheap prices if they really stick to that path. And that would be awesome. So I think that that's the right path.
Ian's got a link for the website and the game trailer, so you guys can check it out. And Kimmy, add me. We got to play some together.
And Pixie, you have This War of Mine to talk about?
Yeah.
Hey guys, Ian's gonna play the trailer right now.
Yeah. And then you have a trailer too, right, Pixie?
Yeah, that's
you did? You already played it? Okay, we're done. All right, fine. He said he just did. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I was following it.
That was awesome.
You're just talking over it.
So this War of Mine, super, super cool. I'm really excited about this game. It is side scroll, be aware. But I don't think that detracts anything from the game or affects it. So this game is entirely about war and what the real actions of war are, who's really affected and what happens to people if you put them in bad situations and their choices, do I sleep or get food or do I let this person die? Do I have enough medical supplies for them? It's all about those conscious decisions. And it really shows I think a different view of what war is.
Okay, so let me ask you a real quick question, because I'm going to ask this. Is this age appropriate for tweens or younger adult? 18, 14 to 18. What are we looking at?
It's got some very difficult life decisions.
It does. So I would say honestly 16 and up.
Right.
All right.
I would be fine with. I wouldn't do 14 or 15 unless they're very mature and they understand some of the content.
It's not preparing you for life skills for the future, is what you're trying to tell me. Not training exercise.
No.
It's
but it is. I mean, obviously there is some dark content and some dark imagery, and there are some rough and tough things you have to deal with. So I definitely think it's something you want an older teenager to deal with more so than a younger one.
I think that younger kids see some gory stuff too. And I don't think that we should take away from telling them that, you know what, life can be kind of scary sometimes. And, you know, there are some real decisions that you have to make. Maybe not 15, maybe not 14, but, you know, there's some gory games that kids kind of get exposed to, even out at arcade. And, you know, we shouldn't be afraid to, as parents or as older siblings or as older people, open up those conversations and say to them, you know,
I'm very afraid, Paige. I'm very afraid. Don't make me if I don't have to.
Come on. I mean, like, if it comes up, though, you know, I think that that there are some really important conversations to be had with kids that are coming into teenage years. And as long as you're guiding them, you know, and you're really willing to step up to the plate and tell them, you know, like, hey, sometimes this is the way that it is, but I'm here to explain it to you and to be there for you. And you always have love and you always have care. And, you know, when you monitor them.
That this is not reality and this is not how things happen. And again, we've kind of talked about that before.
It depends on, you know, the situation, though. I mean, things don't happen in the context of a side scroller, but there are times when people do have to decide, do I eat? You know, and that's
or,
you know,
do I hide the Franks in my attic? I know people are laughing, but that was a real decision that someone had to make. Like, am I willing to hide the Franks?
I heard Frankfurters because we're talking about food, so it's like,
so I mean, it's one of those. But I mean, it's one of those things where it's
for those of you who didn't catch it. It's a historical reference.
Yeah.
It is.
What's wrong?
I think the questions that it poses are things like, when no one's watching, are we really good people? And if our life is on the line, are we willing to sacrifice something to help another person? And I think those are some really like important, deep questions. It is on Steam. So we're gonna go ahead and run the trailer, and we can keep talking about it while the trailer's going. But it's super interesting.
And it's probably going to be part of the Steam sale next week.
Oh,
so be careful.
So Pixie, do you already own it?
I do. I went ahead and bought it after I saw it.
It's not expensive. It's only $20. It's only $20.
Yeah, it's only $20.
Hey, $20 might be a lot for somebody. However, Pixie, on the Pixie meter, on the Steam sale, on the Pixie meter, how many ears would you give it?
So I give it out of 5 out of 10. Out of 10, I'd give it like 8. And I think for me, I like games when I'm not playing MOBAs that have deeper meaning, or that have like questions that plague humanity. So for me, that's kind of why I found it really interesting.
So I definitely see where Pixie's coming from with that, and I see why this is a game that people would be interested in. I also tend to not like side scrollers, but this definitely piques my interest even despite that.
I hate side scrollers.
Yeah, like normally I'm so sick of side scrollers, but yeah.
The art in it is amazing, though. When you're looking at it, it's a side scroller, but it looks so 3D. It looks amazing.
What did they use? Is this the
Unity?
Unity.
Yeah. It runs on everything. So I mean,
it's like Energizer
PC.
Bunny. It runs on everything.
Well, right now it's PC, Mac, and Linux, but they're planning on moving it to other platforms too. It's one of those games.
What's the studio, Pixie?
I don't remember the studio off the top of my head.
Like, we might have to give them a shout out on the Twitter, guys. If you guys think you're gonna pick this one up or play this, or you think it looks good, tag us in the tweet.
It's 11-bit. It's 11-bit Studios.
So tag us in the tweet to 11-bit. Tell them you heard it from us, and maybe we might get some codes to give away. You never know. You guys want to see it.
That's a game you guys want to play. It looks really interesting. I want to play it.
It does look interesting.
Yeah,
so anybody on the stream team, if you end up picking this up, please let me know because we can schedule some stream time for you in that prime time slot because this looks really worth a watching.
Well, that is definitely on my list for next week.
I couldn't resist buying it.
So you've seen that. Okay, did you see the other 2 games that were just announced on Steam from Telltale Games?
Oh, yes. Telltale gives me... Did you see the website with the press releases about the 2 new games on Telltale?
Not yet. I just caught it today.
We have the press release up, but go ahead and alert the fans because maybe they haven't gone over there either and they don't know what we're referring to.
One of them, so first off, Telltale Games last year came out with an amazing game based on one of my favorite TV shows, The Walking Dead, and I was sitting on this edge of my seat waiting for each one of the episodes. It's an episodic adventure game that really makes you make some tough choices, and they released the second part of that and just came out, they released season 2 and just came out with episode 2 of season 2. And then today I'm on Steam and I see that they're going to have 2 more games based on the same kind of platform. And one of them is going to be based on Game of Thrones and the other one based on Borderlands.
Which I have been waiting for this particular Borderlands. And I know there's a couple of us on the stream team that have talked about it. And I have talked to the PR people at Telltale. They sent me The Wolf Among Us, The Walking Dead, season passes and review those. And I sent them a nice little note back saying, I will gladly give you these back if you give me the Tales from the Borderlands key. I'm still waiting. Please, can I have it? Because I need it and I need it in my life. Wolf Among Us has been pleasantly surprising to me. If nobody's played it on the panel here, it's awesome. You guys got to really play that one. And Aegon's waiting for that Game of Thrones. He's been waiting patiently as well.
Well, right now, if you buy either one of them right now, it's 10% off, which they always do, and it's only 10%, which means it's probably $2 to $5 off somewhere in there. But that's a good deal. So think about it. Could be a wonderful addition. And I think they're both going to be episodic in nature, also.
Yes.
So that's going to be wonderful. So
yeah,
you're going
definitely will.
Yeah, you're gonna be sitting on the edge of your seat, waiting to throw more money at the screen each episode as it comes out.
Each episode. If you haven't seen the info over on the website, I did an article on it and put it up there. All of the deeds are over there, the links, the clickies, all of the stuff. And Ian's getting ready to play the Game of Thrones trailer, so you guys can take a look at that. And I don't know who doesn't want to play the Game of Thrones. Everybody up here on the panel does, right? You guys definitely want to get in there.
Yeah.
Well, Pixie maybe not so much.
Yeah.
I want to poison Joffrey.
Yes, that's exactly right. Over and over. We can do it more than once.
I just started watching Game of Thrones last year in that season.
So, really?
And,
what'd you think?
It was good.
It was good.
Like, it's good.
Yeah.
Did you read the books?
I actually live right around where George R. R. Martin grew up.
Did you read the books, Six?
No, I have not.
You need to read the books. They're way better than the show. But the show is very, very similar.
I read
Sticks
pretty
to
often, too. I really should just pick it up.
You would enjoy the books better than the series. But the series does stick very closely to the book. They just augment some parts out because it's so long.
I read history books. That's what I feel.
Nothing wrong with that.
Like I'm reading the Anti-Federalist paper.
Royal Bannerman to House Stark.
Nothing wrong with that.
Rated M for mature. It should change it up a bit.
So guys, we're getting ready to wrap it up here. I'm going to give out some shout outs in the chat to people that have been hanging out with us all evening. C+, which is Charisma Plus, that's our own Yavanna. I know she's hanging out, watching somewhere back there, eating dinner, whatever she's doing. GJ Henry, Spinks, Aquamaniac, Mao. We're not gonna name your name. After a while, you're just gonna be like regular. We'll just put you on a regular. Serenity and Sinea, and of course, Moobot. Give it up for Moobot. Moobot didn't slap anybody around today. We're very proud of you, Moobot, for your behavior. We're gonna give you a cookie, because last week you were tripping, bitch. Okay? Just gonna tell you.
I think Moobot, stop me from posting a couple of things last week.
Moobot was trying to beat up Shriftbot. I mean, what the hell is going on? Really? They were doing a battle royal down there. Oh my God. And for those people that are hosting the show week in and week out, thank you so much. We appreciate you being generous enough to host us on your channel. And we're going to roll up into some shout outs. We're going to start with Pixinator.
Shout outs to Mal, my dear buddy. You're my favorite. Best duo world. Shout outs to you guys for being here. Moobot, you can shut up.
Moobot just got
Shut
silence.
up, Moobot. Shut up. And shout outs to everyone in chat for being here, and shout outs to 11-Bit Studios, because I'm pretty much gonna play my face off of this game, and have been. So yeah.
That's
awesome. Wonderful. Nikki, shout outs.
Shout outs to everybody in the chat right now, especially my good friend Lady Sanea, who has been around for a long time as one of my acquaintances on the interwebs. Yeah, I love her to death. And you could catch her streaming all the time with her baby, her little son in her lap, which is awesome. A shout out to Paige, man. It's great to have you on the show. It's awesome to have a fourth. Love it.
Thank you.
And shout out to all the people that have been so gracious and generous and fantastic that started following me on my channel. So that's pretty awesome. I love it. And shout out to Telltale Games, which is about ready to get a lot of my money over the next few weeks. Yeah.
And Steam. Yeah.
Yeah, Steam, of course. I've got about $75 in Steam gift cards. And that's all I'm spending. Last year, I spent way too much. So that's what I got. That's what I'm spending.
That's a good idea to limit yourself by just getting some gift cards and be like, this is all I get.
God, that was so bad last year.
My God, that's genius. That's genius.
Yeah, you got to do it that way. You got to do it that way. Otherwise, you're going to be like every day. Yeah, because the way they do it, you wind up spending $10, $15 a day. By the end of the week, you're like at $200 and you're like, what did I just do? I can't play all these games.
Hey, Neil, you need to tweet that pro tip, hashtag that pro tip from Nikki. Quote her and just send it on out to the interwebs, because that's a pro tip. That's perfect. All right, Paige, your turn.
Well, I'm going to give a shout out to you for teaching me how to keep my boyfriend within a budget during this. But I'm going to give a shout out, of course, to you ladies. Thank you for inviting me back. It's always fun to come back here. I'm going to give a shout out to Stephen Wilds. He actually gave a shout out to this show and to me on his YouTube because he enjoyed the broadcast last week so much. That's on Twitter at Stephen with a PH Wilds, as you would spell Wilds, no space, one word. And I'll give a shout out to Another Castle. This is anothercastle.com, my baby when I'm not on the round table. And yeah, that's my shout outs for this week.
Awesome.
Happy Thanksgiving. Right?
Happy Turkey Day.
Yeah.
I'm going to give some shout outs to producer Ian for trying to work that magic this before we went live, and we had little technical difficulties, but he's always patient with what's going on.
Hey, which bot just smacked down Sanea and deleted all her messages?
It was probably Moobot, because Moobot's back in the channel.
Oh, great.
I'm going to give another shout out to the new people that have joined us on our stream team last week. You guys know who you are, Livy. Thank you for hosting. I saw that she was hosting the stream the other day. And I also want to give a shout out to all of our sponsors that we have picked up over 2014 that continue to sponsor us, support us, and give us some goodies to give away to share with you guys. And I think that we are coming to a close for November fairly soon. The holidays are coming up, so you guys may see us on hiatus, but be sure to check out the social media for when we're coming back, because obviously Thanksgiving and Christmas is coming up, and then New Year's.
Right. It's my birthday tomorrow too.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
That's my.
You're gonna be 20, right? You're gonna be 20. Still can't even drink yet. Just a baby.
So are you guys going live next week?
I'm sorry?
Is the show going to be on next week?
The show will not be on next week because of the holiday.
Good.
Wait. Before I lie, we might have a guest. Let me just double check. Ian, producer Ian, check the schedule.
I'll be at work.
I won't be here.
I don't know. I gotta check. I think not, but maybe not. Honestly, if you ask me now, I could tell you stories. My birthday is coming up next week as well. I'll be 22.
You lying sack of shit.
Carmen,
You'll be 22 times 2.
22.
Hey, you have to embrace your age just like I have.
Oh man, you know what? I'm not ashamed of my age. I'm just saying I can be whatever number I want. It's my story and I'm sticking to it.
Whatever you say.
Ian says there's no guests, so probably not for next week. And I want to thank everybody that's in chat and everybody that's entered the December LORT crate thus far, and our winner for last month's LORT crate, who, let me tell you, I'm still looking at a feasible way to be shipping to Romania. So if you're entering the December LORT crate, please look at the new guidelines, because some of you peoples that are over far away land, you're only getting the electronic stuff. Can't do it for you, sorry. Unfortunately, it's just not feasible for us. We are a nonprofit, and it does come out of our pocket. But thanks for entering. And thank you so much for the follow. I think, who was that? Let me go back up in the chat. Did anybody see that?
Very nice.
Any of the follows we got today that we might have missed.
We need Ian to put one of those bots that puts up a big bright red sign when they subscribe.
No, because those things break all the time.
Okay.
And then you have to cut stream.
We do have a wonderful bot. She's named Bot, and she screams in my ear every time we get a follow. So
awesome.
It's pretty frightening. It scares me every time. All right, guys, that's it for us. Thanks for hanging out. We had a good time. Page 6. Thank you for coming back again. You're welcome anytime. And love you, ladies. All right, let's dance it out. Roll that beautiful footage.
Dancing. I got a headache.
Let's just dance it out. Come on, Nikki. Where's that disco ball at in the house?
I broke it. It was up there.
Yeah, you broke it.
Let's not talk about how that light broke.
I'm not even going to ask questions. That stripper pole in the back will tell me nothing.
Yeah, the stripper pole. You can still see that? Oh.
Having so much fun, we can't stop ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, we have like 2 or 3 people